You walk into a shop with a check engine light. They swap an oxygen sensor, $350. Catalytic converter, $1,200. Plugs and coils, another $600. The real problem? A $4 vacuum hose that fell off. I've been fixing cars over 5 decades, and today I'm giving you the exact 4-step diagnostic system pros use, so you stop burning cash and start fixing problems yourself. Most people diagnose engine problems completely wrong. They Google rough idle, watch 3 random videos, and start buying parts hoping something works. That's not diagnosing. That's gambling with your wallet. Stick with me through all 4 steps, and you'll pinpoint what's wrong with your engine in about 15 minutes. No guessing, no wasted parts. Before you open the hood, before you buy a scanner, run this 60-second check. It tells you whether you've got a minor issue or something about to kill your engine. Start with your warning lights. A solid check engine light means you can keep driving. It's not an emergency. But a flashing check engine light? Pull over and shut the car off. That flashing light means active misfires are destroying your catalytic converter right now, and that's a $2,000 fix. If you see a red oil light or temperature light, turn the engine off immediately. Keep driving with those on and you'll seize the motor. That's $5,000 to $8,000 gone. Now, think about when the problem started. Sudden power loss usually points to something electrical, like a sensor or coil pack. Gradual loss over weeks or months means mechanical wear, things like compression dropping or a timing chain stretching. If it comes and goes randomly, you're probably dealing with a heat-sensitive component or a loose wiring connection. Then use your senses, because they don't lie. White smoke from the exhaust means coolant is burning, and that's head gasket territory. Blue smoke means oil is burning through worn piston rings or valve seals. Black smoke means too much fuel, usually from a bad oxygen sensor or dirty MAF sensor, which is actually a cheap fix. Listen to the engine too. Ticking usually points to the valve train, could be lifters or just low oil. Knocking means detonation from bad gas, carbon buildup, or timing issues. And grinding? That's bearing failure. If you hear grinding and keep driving, your engine is finished. Pay attention to smells as well. A sweet smell means coolant is leaking somewhere. A burnt smell points to an electrical issue or a slipping clutch. And if you smell raw gasoline, you've got a fuel leak or flooding injectors. Write all of this down. Every detail. Professionals document everything before they touch a single tool, because memory fails you once you're elbows deep under the hood. And here's something that'll surprise you. This 60-second check alone narrows your problem down by about 50% before you even plug in a scanner. But the scanner is where things get specific. Get yourself an OBD2 scanner. A $25 Bluetooth one from Amazon works fine. Plug it into the port under your dash on the driver's side near the steering column. Turn the key to the on position, but don't start the engine. When you scan, you'll get 3 types of results. Confirmed codes mean the problem is verified and active. Pending codes mean a problem is developing but hasn't been confirmed yet. And freeze frame data shows the exact conditions when the code triggered. Things like RPM, engine temperature, and load percentage. Now here's where most people go wrong. The code does not tell you what part to replace. It tells you what system has a problem. Take P171 for example, which reads, System 2 Lean Bank 1. That does not mean replace the oxygen sensor. It means there's too much air or not enough fuel reaching the engine. Could be a vacuum leak, a dirty MAF sensor, low fuel pressure, an exhaust leak, or yes, a bad oxygen sensor. You have to test to find which one. Same idea with P300, which is a random misfire. Could be bad gas, a vacuum leak, dirty MAF, weak fuel pressure, or a failing coil. But when you see P301 or P302, that's a specific cylinder misfiring. Now you've got a target. Swap the coil and plug from that cylinder to a different one. If the misfire follows, you found your bad part. If it stays put, you've got a mechanical issue, like a compression problem, valve damage, or a dead injector. One more tip here. Google your exact code plus your car model. Some cars have known quirks. Honda P401 is a perfect example. 9 times out of 10, it's just a clogged EGR passage, not a failed valve. A quick cleaning fixes it for free instead of a $300 part swap. All right, you got your codes, and you know what system is acting up. But a scanner can only tell you so much. Step 3 catches problems with nothing but your own 2 eyes. This step is free and it catches roughly 30% of problems before you spend $1. Pop the hood and start with the air filter, pull it out. If it's black and clogged, swap it for about $15. A plugged filter chokes airflow by around 20%, and that alone causes rough running, power loss, and terrible fuel economy. Next, check every vacuum hose you can see. Look for cracked, split, or disconnected rubber lines. A single vacuum leak creates a lean condition that causes rough idle, high idle, and hesitation on acceleration. Here's a quick trick. Spray carburetor cleaner around each hose connection while the engine idles. If the RPM changes, you just found your leak. A $4 piece of replacement hose from any parts store fixes it. And do not use duct tape. It melts from engine heat. Now check your fluids. Pull the oil dipstick. If the oil looks like chocolate milk, coolant is mixing with oil, which means a blown head gasket and a repair bill between $1,500 and $3,000. Black, sludgy oil means you're overdue for a change, and that sludge is choking your engine from the inside. Check the coolant reservoir too. It should sit between min and max. Brown or rusty coolant has lost its protective properties and will lead to overheating. Look at your serpentine belt while you're in there. Cracks or fraying means it's time for a new one. That's a $25 part in a 1-5-minute job. If that belt snaps while driving, you lose power steering, your alternator, and your water pump all at once. Battery terminals corroded? Pour some Coca-Cola on them. The phosphoric acid eats right through the buildup. 5 minutes, rinse, dry, done. Everything up to this point has been gathering evidence. Step 4 is where you prove what's actually broken, and this is where most people quit too early. Start with the MAF sensor. Find it in your air intake tube right after the air filter box. Unplug the connector, remove the sensor with its 2 screws, and spray it down with MAF sensor cleaner, about $8 at any parts store. Never use brake cleaner or carb cleaner on this sensor because those chemicals destroy the sensing element. Let it air dry for 10 minutes, reinstall it, and you'll feel the difference right away. Throttle response sharpens up and the idle smooths out. While you're working on airflow, clean the throttle body too. Carbon builds up over time and restricts how much air gets into the engine. Remove the intake duct to expose the butterfly valve and spray throttle body cleaner inside. Scrub the carbon off with a toothbrush or rag. But on drive-by-wire cars, which is most cars built after 2005, do not force that butterfly valve open by hand or you'll damage the electronic motor. After cleaning, the car might idle rough for about 10 minutes while the computer relearns. Then it settles right down. Now pull your spark plugs and read them like a book. A light tan or gray tip means everything is normal. Black and sooty means the engine is running rich. So check the air filter, MAF, and oxygen sensors. White and crusty means it's running lean, which points to vacuum leaks or low fuel pressure. Oil on the plug means oil is getting past the rings or valve seals. And if the electrode is worn flat, the plugs are simply old and need replacing. Always gap new plugs to your car's spec from the owner's manual. Never assume they come gapped correctly. If you're dealing with hesitation, stalling, or hard starts, test your fuel pressure with a gauge, about $30 at Harbor Freight. Connect it to the fuel rail test port, turn the key to on without starting, and watch the reading. Most cars spec between 40 and 60 pounds per square inches. Low pressure means the pump is dying or the filter is clogged. If pressure drops fast after key off, you've got a leaking injector or bad fuel pressure regulator. For persistent misfires or heavy oil consumption, a compression test tells you whether the engine is mechanically sound. Thread a compression tester into each cylinder one at a time, crank for 5 seconds, and record the numbers. All cylinders within 10% of each other? The engine is healthy. One cylinder way low could be a burnt valve or broken ring. If you squirt a tablespoon of oil into that low cylinder and retest, rising compression means worn rings, while unchanged compression points to a valve problem. No scanner gives you this information. Only a compression tester does. Here's what separates someone who swaps parts from someone who actually fixes cars. Don't just replace the broken part. Ask why it broke. Ignition coil failed? Check if oil is leaking onto it from a worn valve cover gasket. Fix the gasket or the new coil dies in 6 months. Spark plug fouled with oil? The piston rings might be worn, and you'll keep fouling plugs until you address that. Oxygen sensor died? Maybe the engine has been running rich for 50,000 miles because a clogged air filter was dumping extra fuel through the system. Replace the filter with a sensor, or history repeats itself. And handle related maintenance while you're already in there. Swapping plugs? Check the coils. Replacing one oxygen sensor? The others are probably close behind. Fixing a misfire? Clean the injectors while you've got access. Doing it all at once saves you from tearing into the same spot twice. Watch for upstream problems hiding behind downstream failures too. A clogged catalytic converter is a symptom, not a cause. The real problem is an engine running rich from a bad sensor or leaking injectors. Fix that first, then replace the cat. Otherwise, the new one clogs within months. You've diagnosed the problem. Now, fix it yourself or hand it to a pro. Green light jobs you can absolutely do at home include air filter swaps, spark plugs on accessible engines, MAF cleaning, throttle body cleaning, and battery terminal service. Basic hand tools and a little patience is all you need. Yellow light jobs need more care. Ignition coil swaps aren't hard, but the clips break easily. Oxygen sensors can season the exhaust and need heat to break free. Fuel filters carry a fire risk from spillage. If you're comfortable turning wrenches, you can handle these, but watch a walkthrough for your exact car first. Red light jobs belong at a professional shop. Timing chains, head gaskets, in-tank fuel pumps, engine removal, and transmission work all need specialty tools and precise torque sequences. One wrong move costs thousands. The labor charge is cheaper than the mistake. That's the full system. Step 1, the 6-0. Second quick check tells you how serious it is. Step 2, reading codes points you toward the right system. Step 3, a visual inspection catches 30% of problems for free. And step 4, testing and confirmation proves exactly what failed and why. Follow this every time and you'll never throw parts at a problem blind again. Now, I brought up sludge and oil starvation earlier because it's one of the biggest engine killers out there, and most people are making it worse without realizing. Watch this video right here. Engine oil replacement is done wrong by most people. Here's why, where I break down the oil change mistakes that wreck engines from the inside out. If you found sludge on your dipstick today, that video shows you exactly how to fix your routine going forward. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and drop a comment telling me what engine problem you're dealing with right now. I read every single one, and I'll point you in the right direction. Rev up your engines, and I'll see you in the next one.